In Melbourne town, where the suits all grind, there's a lawyer with a vision, one of a kind. He's the Aussie Overlaw'd. He'll fight for your rights, and he's got his own channel shining bright. From the courtroom to the web, he's got it all, sharing legal knowledge, answering the call. He breaks it down in a language we all understand. The Aussie Overlaw'd taking a stand. With his Aussie charm and his legal know-how, he's a hero we need, showing us how. He fights for justice, no case too tough. The Aussie Overlaw'd, he's more than enough. He's more than enough. In Melbourne town, where the suits all grind, there's a lawyer with a vision, one of a kind. He's the Aussie Overlaw'd. He'll fight for your rights, and he's got his own channel shining bright. From the courtroom to the web, he's got it all, sharing legal knowledge, answering the call. He breaks it down in a language we all understand. The Aussie Overlaw'd taking a stand. With his Aussie charm and his legal know-how,
Screen recording will do.
he's a hero we need, showing us how. He fights for justice, no case too tough. The Aussie Overlaw'd, he's more than enough. He's more than enough. In Melbourne town, where
I'm a Gunditjmara man on my mother's side, and I'm a Bunurong man on my father's side. This morning, I'm here to welcome everybody to my father's country. Beautiful Bunurong country. But before we do that, we pay our acknowledgements and we pay our respects. We pay our respects to all of my ancestors. We pay our respects to all of my elders. And we pay respects to all of my community members, past, present, and emerging.
Yeah, it's time we talk about it. And good afternoon, good evening, and good night, and welcome to the Saturday show. Hope you're doing well, people. None of this was appropriate. The booing, yeah, they can get stuffed. It was a complete and utter ridiculousness for that to even happen. But so was the welcome to the country being involved as well. As far as I'm concerned, ANZAC Day should have only ever been about the remembrance of the soldiers that have fought and died for this country. I at no point could for probably 2 or 3 hours after that, get the image out of my head of that guy, who, might I add, apparently got paid about $5,000 to do that, and then proceeded to go on Facebook and say, oh, it's time to abolish ANZAC Day. Yeah, I wasn't too pleased with that. But all I could get was the image of him standing at that podium, welcoming the ghosts of fallen soldiers to his country. Yeah, that really pissed me right the fuck off for quite some time. But, as I said, this was not the time and the place for the booing. The time and the place, well, some of the veterans took it up after the fact, which I thought was interesting. Well, we're going to have a look at some candid video that was taken from various individuals that attended on the day and who gave their opinion to a reporter that tried to pretty well spin the facts in order to, shall we say, inflate and conflate the day. Now, don't get me wrong. One of the fuckwits that was doing the booing is a confirmed neo-Yahtzee. I'm not going to be defending that in any way, shape, or form. The veterans that sided with him, though, I feel like their opinions matter more. They'll sure as shit matter more than mine do. So let's get stuck into it, people. Welcome to today's episode of Law News and Laughter. So what I'm going to do tonight is, just because I'm going to be cutting this up as a video at some point, we're going to look at exactly how the media covered this, how the politicians with their heads up their asses decided to cover this, and how the politicians that I'll be voting for in the coming weeks actually covered it themselves. But we're going to start with how they looked at it at Sky News, because, you know what the hell? Might as well start with the right-wing take on it, because everyone on the left has really latched onto the fact that one of those guys was a neo-Yahtzee and is basically calling everybody that disagrees with them now Yahtzees, which I'm a little bit pissed off with about, because in no way, shape or form would I ever be supportive of that. But anyway, let's have a look at Sky News.
Service in Melbourne are unlikely to meet the criminal threshold under Victorian anti-vilification laws. Convicted neo-Nazi Jacob Herseth led boos and chanting during the Welcome to Country. According to The Age, government and legal sources don't believe the booing constitutes punishment under hate speech laws. The neo-Nazi disruptions during the ANZAC Day dawn service at Melbourne's Shrine of Remembrance have been condemned.
Keep in mind, this is coming from the same government that in 2021 and 2022, as a result of the coup, not only cancelled ANZAC Day and threatened people with fines if they did decide to march, but they also put up cyclone weathering and fencing around the Shrine of Remembrance so no one could actually attend and lay a wreath or a pot beer or anything like that. Yeah, not particularly impressed with that argument. Nope. Okay, so this was the statement from Malcolm Roberts. A man gave a welcome to the country at the Melbourne Dawn service this morning that was completely inappropriate. For 5 long minutes, the crowd was lectured by this man that this is Aboriginal country, it's Aboriginal land, his father's land, and he did not mention the diggers, being Australian and New Zealand soldiers, once. By implication, he was telling the veterans currently serving defence personnel and respectful Australians in attendance that this country wasn't theirs, while failing to properly respect the purpose of the day, the Anzacs. There are men and women sitting in that crowd on Anzac Day who know someone who died for this country, or who at least fought. People died or lost limbs wearing an Australian flag on their shoulder. They sure as hell don't need to be welcome to their own country. Dutton and Albanese are cowards for caving into the outrage mob and not calling out the disrespect of holding a welcome to the country on Anzac Day. This is a day for remembering the sacrifice of all Australians, not politics. Booing is disrespectful, so is starting the dawn service with a political welcome to the country. Australia voted no to dividing the country by race. This welcome has gone way too far, and it should never have been repeated on Anzac Day. Today is a day for solemn reflection and paying our respects. This sad episode of injecting politics into a national day of significance must never be repeated. Now let's have a look at see what some of the what some of the veterans that were in attendance had to say.
How do you feel about the welcome to countries today? Do you think it's appropriate? Absolute hogwash. I'm an Aboriginal, I'm Australian. They're trying to split us all up, this useless Labor government. Very poor.
I wouldn't want to venture too much into the substance of the issue because I don't know too much about it, and I'm aware of it. It's an issue down here in Victoria. To me, it seems a little bit inappropriate on this day, and I think the crowd's response kind of reflected that.
People have got the right to protest. I support their right to protest, but there's a time and place, and that wasn't the time, and that's not the place.
In terms of the booing you're talking about? Yeah.
I think the booing's inappropriate and just shouldn't happen. If you have an issue with it, keep it to yourself.
I'm sick of the divisive shit. I'm sick of being told, you're not from here, but I'll let you hang out here. Yeah. I am from here, and I will hang out here.
We're all born here. Like, this is our country too. We don't have to be welcomed in.
Raised need to be.
And now let's have a look how mainstream media handled it. So this is Peter Dutton, the leader of the opposition, and this was his take on it. Keep in mind, this is from the same channel that I'm going to show a candid behind-the-scenes video that I don't believe was actually aired, but is making its way across social media. One of the reporters from Channel 9 basically got stuck into one of the veterans trying to actually get a soundbite out of him, and it was one of the most disgraceful things that I've seen. I don't know that that guy can actually personally consider himself a journalist anymore, in my personal opinion.
Pete, I'm loath to raise this, but it does need to be raised. Sarah and I are both appalled, absolutely appalled by this disgraceful act at Melbourne's Shrine this morning.
And I want to make it very clear, I agree with that. I do not believe that the booing should have taken place, but I also strongly do not believe that the event that resulted in the booing should have taken place either.
Outburst from this neo-Nazi. I mean, what do you say?
And you see how they've phrased it. As if it was solely a single neo-Nazi. You know what, screw it, it's already been said. As if it was a sole neo-Nazi that was screaming out and booing. After I was done with the ceremony, I waited for my family to get up, and we all sat and rewatched the ceremony over again. I watched all that 5 minutes, a second time. It was not a single voice in the crowd.
Carl, our diggers fought against the Nazis, and this movement of neo-Nazis has any presence in our country at all is just an outrage and a disgrace, and we've toughened the laws at a federal level to stop the display of Nazi symbols, etc.
And that's exactly what you're going to hang on to on this, isn't it?
You look at the Nazi ideology, the deaths that it led to, the destruction, not just of of Europe.
I mean, look, we should be very clear. This guy is a known, what's he call himself? A right-wing nationalist. Now, my understanding is that he's part of a group that, yes, they've done the salutes and whatnot. I'm fairly comfortable calling him a neo-Nazi. Okay, I am. I'm fairly confident with that. But again, it's really fucking weird to find myself on this particular fence. I'm not gonna lie. A couple of years we had a National Socialist Party based out of Townsville. No shit.
But across the world, the stories here in Australia of Holocaust survivors, and you read the history of the Nazi regime and Hitler's evil and those around him, and that it could be glorified by Australians here shows that these people are mentally unwell, and it should be condemned, and the police come down heavily on them, and so they should. It just has no place in our community and our society whatsoever.
No, it's just so disrespectful as well. And
didn't mention a goddamn thing about the point behind the protest or what actually took place. Did anyone else notice that? They honed in on the fact that that one of the people that they were trying to have charged, I might add, for booing at the time. They honed in on that, they focused on that, and they completely skipped over the actual issues. It's very convenient for them that this guy is a neo-Nazi because, oh, we can just lump it all together in that category and tell everyone to fuck off. We can completely ignore the issues. We can completely ignore the fact that people are goddamn sick of this, as was seen with subsequent events over the weekend. Something else happened in Perth. I haven't looked too far into that. The Anzac Day NRL march. Sorry, NRL match. They cancelled the welcome to the country. And you know what we had? We had 100,000 people standing silently, honouring the Anzacs. Standing silently and quietly and respectfully whilst they played the national anthem and remembered the fallen. The whole fucking purpose and point of the day. More people should have booed. Welcome to the country does not belong at an Anzac Day ceremony. No, it does not. This would be like... Okay, to put it in the most ridiculous terms for those of you in the US, imagine on the 4th of July, someone gets up at effectively, Washington Memorial, Lincoln Memorial. Screw it. We'll go hyperbolic here. We'll say someone's standing at the podium in front of the White House. They're from England, and they're sitting there telling you guys all about how they were the ones that settled America, and you deserve to be. They deserve to have apologies from you and to be welcomed to America by them. I know that's a ridiculously hyperbolic way of explaining it, but the only other way was to go down the Native American path, and I don't want to step on any toes accidentally there because I don't know the full history. So that's pretty much what it boils down to. Just because someone's a horrible person doesn't mean their views are incorrect. Veterans Day might be a better of equivalent. Well, I wasn't really going for equivalent. I was going for hyperbole to try and explain why so many people are fucking pissed off. Where was... Oh, yes. This was the post that the guy put up. So the guy, the one talking about, oh, yes, welcome to my country, welcome to my people, welcome to my people's lands, who I might add, by the way, apparently he actually isn't from the area, allegedly. So he then put that up. Yeah, not impressed. That's the other veteran. Where it is? No, that's Pauline Hanson. I gotta start closing some of these. Because then you had other Indigenous Australians coming out and having a go at him as well. Where was the post by... Crap. I think I must have... Oh no, that was it. Here we've got... Here we've got another Indigenous Australian. This is the opinionated black woman. Welcome to the country has no place at an ANZAC dawn service. Is the day to reflect on the sacrifices made by the brothers and sisters who bleed green. Sorry. The booing was poor form, but I get it. I really do, because I was rolling my eyes too, saying for fuck's sake under my breath. All right. So this is one of the other veterans. This was one of the guys that was supportive of the booing, basically. And I don't think this is the full clip, but if I can double check where it was, I could. Because the simple fact of the matter is, I'm fully supportive of this guy. I really am. And the way that the reporter goes out of his way to try and make a gotcha statement, I thought was disgusting.
It's the welcome to the country. Is it the right time and place today for it? As a veteran, I don't think it is. Now, I have a lot of veteran mates that haven't come today solely because of the welcome to the country. Because our friends have died for this country. for this soil, and for them to be welcomed is a slap in the face. It's not right to welcome veterans. World War II, you just listen about all these people that have died in this country. For them to welcome us in this country is disrespectful.
We heard a little bit earlier in the show, crowds booing the welcome to country at the shrine this morning.
So many families here, lots of kids. I spoke to so many families on the way in, but the tone really took a turn when the service began, and that was during this welcome to country. These booing and jeering and shouting out lasted the entire 5 minutes. And speaking to people, RSL staff, they're saying they've never seen anything like this.
Yeah, so that wasn't the full video. Where is... Oh, and here's what our PM had to say. Wait, no, already watched that. Where did it... That's the video that I just had. Oh, here we go.
Melbourne Shrine. What occurred at Melbourne Shrine of Remembrance and Kings Park in Perth was a disgrace. There is no place in Australia for what occurred. The disruption of ANZAC Day is beyond contempt.
Probably the only time I will ever agree with Albanese.
And the people responsible must face the full force of the law. This was an act of low cowardice.
That I disagree with. Not the low cowardice. Saying that they should face the full face of the law, though. For protesting against something that they disagreed with? Don't know about that.
On a day when we honour courage and sacrifice. ANZAC Day is when we come together to remember all those who have served our country in war and the cause of peace, including those who continue to serve our nation today. What occurred at Melbourne Shrine of Remembrance and Kings Park in Perth was a disgrace. There is no place in Australia for what occurred. The disruption of ANZAC Day is beyond contempt, and the people responsible must face the full force of the law. This was an act of low cowardice on a day when we honour courage and sacrifice.
I think that actually started replaying and I didn't even notice. I'm so used to ignoring what this fuckwit says. Oh, shit. I think I lost the... Oh, shit. No, that was the Pauline Hanson one.
Reported there was a protest rally today at the ANZAC Day commemoration in Melbourne against Welcome to Country. Well, the same thing happened in Kings Park, Perth, the one that I attended. I'm not for protests, and especially on a special day as ANZAC Day. But people in this country have had a gutful of it. They voted against the Voice in 2023, and now we feel as if it's been shoved down our throat. This is a special day to commemorate those veterans, those men and women and their families for the sacrifices they have given, their lives that they've given for our country. Why do we have to acknowledge a group of people over what land they own? Isn't Australia belong to all Australians, whether you're born here or came from another country, to migrate here for what this country has to offer? It's not a place for it. But let's have the debate over this, because I don't want to see these protests happen next year on ANZAC Day. Debate the issue. Let the people have their say. And I'll also say, I don't know who these people are that protested, but why label them neo-Nazis? Maybe these could be even veterans.
I mean, at least one of them is a known neo-Nazi. So... But I agree with you. Labeling all of them as extreme right-wing activists and neo-Nazis, that's some horseshit.
That have fought and represented Australians. But the whole fact is, they may not be happy about it because over 54% of this land is under native title. So you tell me, why should men and women sign up for our armed services and possibly put their lives on the line for what? Stop the division in this nation. We are all Australians. But I also say to these people out there, I understand your hurt and pain. but don't go making a protest on such a commemorative day. It's a day that we must respect those men and women families who have sacrificed their lives for what we have. That's our freedom and our democracy.
Authorised by Pauline Hanson, One Nation, Brisbane.
And honestly, I don't think I could have said it better myself. Do I believe that the Welcome to the Country should be part of ANZAC Day? No, I do not. ANZAC Day is purely a day to remember and to celebrate the lives of those who fought and died and bled for our country. Do I believe that the booing was appropriate? Fuck no. Those guys had their heads up their asses, and I was disgusted at the disgraceful display. But there are no rights or wrong. No, you know what? There are plenty of wrongs in this. There's no right morality to this. And the fact that certain politicians are using this to try and take their high moral ground is absolutely fucking disgusting. The simple fact of the matter is people are sick and tired of the division. People are sick and tired of being trodden on. People are sick and tired of the grind that is going on with everyday Australian life. And you try and shove more of this divisive shit down people's throats. Enough is enough. Right, so I can cut that out for later. So, how's everybody doing? Thank you for putting up with my, shall we say, crankiness there. I really had to get that out. Didn't even know this happened till you mentioned it tonight. Really? Must have missed the ANZAC Day show then. Should make you want to protest a funeral in the future. I'm glad you're feeling better. You don't have cancer, that's good. That's fantastic, Boosh. Very happy to hear that. Release the inner child. That was some opening tonight. Yeah, well, like I said, I'd been sitting on that and basically just getting more and more stirred up, frankly. I mean, to be perfectly honest, Lady Overlaw'd was certain that I'd be yelling and I'd probably wake her and the child tonight, so... Everything has to be shoved into a false dichotomy, keeps everyone bickering about everything while accomplishing nothing. Yes. Booing was a reaction to the disruption already caused by the Welcome to the Country. The disruptors were them, not the booers. Look, I agree with you. I feel that the booing was a reaction to something that should never have occurred. Do I think that individuals should have known better and taken it up after the fact? Abso-friggin-lutely. So, be sitting on where I was supposed to have cancer, so cheap. Oh, okay, so it was ass cancer then. Or potential ass cancer. Well, I'm very happy to hear you got a clean bill of health. My great-grandfather fought in Gallipoli, came home and died later to TB that he caught from the fighting. See, that's just it. Without trying to bring any sort of racial or cultural stuff into this, I do genuinely believe that it is going to be, for a very specific reason, it's going to be certain individuals of certain backgrounds here in Australia that ANZAC Day holds the most for. The reason being that like 97% of the armed forces that were conscripted together from Australia and New Zealand for World War I and World War II were white. There's no backing down from that. Those are just the statistics. So yes, it is going to be a certain segment of society that is still feeling the pain from losing loved ones, people within recent memory. Now, it's been, what, a decade or so since my grandfather passed. But he fought. I still have his armed forces jug of whiskey on my shelf to remind me of that. I knew it was going to be a bit spicy when it started with that clip. Well... All I ever did was wipe it and tried to kill me. Call the knockout game. Sooner or later, white people are going to get tired of playing it. Well, we'll have to wait and see. Still life, won't we? Damn, the minor hit of adrenaline's left me now. Oh, mind you, while we're on the level of crazy shit happening, don't know how many of you saw this, but apparently an affidavit was filed in Norfolk County Superior Court. They're alleging that someone from the Commonwealth got paid $1,500 a month to spread disinformation about Turtle Boy and Karen Reid in an effort to have them incarcerated. I haven't actually read through this. Just watched Isaac Butterfield's video on this just before I got here. He's pretty much the same take as yourself. YouTube's feeding me. YouTube's getting swamped by Aussies. Lovely. So I haven't actually read through this, but you know what? Why the hell not? Let's share it together, shall we? Although my, how am I going to? You know what? Screw it. Doesn't matter. Now comes the under. Can I read it on that screen? Because otherwise I'm looking elsewhere. All right, hang on. I'm going to have to do something here to make it a little bit easier for me to read, and so that it actually looks like I'm looking at the screen and off to the other side. All right, now comes the undersigned, redacted for very specific reasons, on oath and hereby states the following to the best of her knowledge, recollection, information, and belief, under penalty of perjury on the 21st day of April 2025. That's why this is so batshit crazy. Someone has legitimately sworn an affidavit swearing to this under the penalty of criminal charges. My name is redacted and I reside in Massachusetts. I am of age and competent to make this affidavit. I have been friendly with Catherine Peter, hereinafter referred to as Peter, for close to a year. I've had multiple conversations and face-to-face interactions with Peter. Probably could have just called her Catherine. Would have been a little bit easier. Catherine volunteered information to me about the Karen Reid case countless times throughout our friendship. All factual representations below are from what Catherine told me about her involvement in the Karen Reid and Adrian Carney cases. During Karen Reid's first trial, she was in regular communication with ADA Adam Lally. At one point prior to the jury deliberations, Catherine met with Lally for lunch. During this lunch meeting, Lally told her that he knows the foreperson who is a retired police officer, and he, the juror, is guaranteeing a mistrial. Holy fuck balls! I was thinking that I have to catch up on this trial. I thought I was going to have to catch up on the few hours from Friday on Monday. FYI, that's why I haven't covered the Friday day, because otherwise I'll have nothing to cover on the drive to and from work on Monday for me, which will be Sunday US time. This is what was verbally reported to me by Catherine. She told me that she is paid $1,500 each month via Cash App for her assistance in the Karen Reid and Adrian Carney prosecutions. Catherine believes that Karen Reid is innocent, but she has to play the game. I interpret that to mean that Catherine's role is to publicly promote and advocate on social media that Miss Reid is guilty. She opined to me that if anyone killed John, it was redacted, an asshole. I need to know who they called the asshole. I need to know that. Catherine is very close with Hank Brennan and has had multiple conversations and meetings with him. I have personally heard Peter on the phone to Hank Brennan. Thank you for joining at Mates Rates. Boosh, appreciate that. During a phone conversation between Catherine and Hank Brennan that I was present for and personally recognised Hank Brennan's voice, Catherine told him that her people leaked it to the media, referring to the federal investigation being over. As of April 15, 2025, Catherine is not directly talking to Hank anymore. We're using a third party to communicate now. Oh, this is some real cloak and dagger type shit. Peter states that she is untouchable because of everything she is doing to assist the prosecution, and that no matter what violations I'm charged with, Morrissey is keeping me out of jail. Clearly it was a literal giant asshole who attacked and killed the victim. Why did the sperm cross the road? I put the wrong socks on this morning. Gross, boosh. But thank you for the super chat. Also, guys, super chats and memberships are always very welcome. They help me pay the Starlink bill for when we're in the car and that sort of thing. And it helps keep the channel running, which, you know, does cost me a few $100 a month to try and keep everything going. Okay. See, now, Bush, I think you're just desperate for attention. Peter asked me to go stalk Karen Reid in the Seaport with her and stated that Karen Reid stays at the Omni Hotel. Is that true? She stated to me that we can take photos to sell to the Daily Mail and that she has done that before. Catherine informed me that Jennifer McCabe had bought her a new sectional as compensation for her assistance. Holy shit, that should be relatively easy to track. Because you know McCabe's she might be okay at deleting a receipt. Sorry, she might be okay at deleting a search history in the morning. But unless she paid cash for a couch, there's got to be records of that. Peter was told by Jennifer McCabe that she informed Michael Morrissey that she is not testifying unless Turtle Boy is in jail. Michael Morrissey informed Jennifer McCabe he would then have to subpoena her, and Jennifer McCabe then told Michael Morrissey, "Then we won't say what you want us to say." Oh my God. Had 12 people watching me kill orcs for 3 hours. You got our attention. Fair enough. Who brought friends? Or did I miss something? Either way, I'm glad that your stream is taking off. Good job. Peter got rid of her phone the day after Adrian Kearney announced on his live show that he was looking to get personal information of Michael Morrissey. Peter said to me, "They will never get the communications between me and Morrissey." The day that Peter showed up to protest the Karen Reid trial, she informed me Jen McCabe paid me for her to show support. On March 16, 2025, Peter told me that she went to meet with Michael Morrissey and Jen McCabe at an undisclosed location in Braintree. When Peter returned home, she had a manila envelope in her hands. Peter's informed me that she's seen emails that are subject to a protective order between the Karen Reid prosecution and Jennifer McCabe. Peter reported to me that upon request from Hank Brennan, she provided the spreadsheet of all the free Karen Reid Facebook supporters to the Commonwealth for the upcoming trial. Peter told me that Hank Brennan has provided information to the federal authorities regarding Karen Reid and Adrian Kearney because he wants them in jail for the trial. See, the trouble is, okay, we have to take this as one of two things. Either it's completely legitimate, which I'm not going to lie, I'm leaning towards, or this could be seen as just a complete and utter fabrication to cause a mistrial and to, you know, whatever else. Long story short, out of this document, someone should be going to jail. Either the one committing perjury or the one getting paid to fuck up a trial. Oh my God! Holy shit! balls. This guy, like, when, hang on. Oh, whoops. Didn't realize I could do that. When I retweeted this a few hours ago, I didn't realize exactly how accurate it is. Okay. Peter told me Hank Brennan's provided information. Peter has told me she is going to start rumours about jurors being afraid to serve because Turtle Boy will go after them, and everyone is working overtime to make sure that Turtle Boy can't be in the courtroom for the trial. Peter admitted to me that she created the image of Karen Reid and Alan Jackson embracing that had been given to the Daily Mail. Holy shit. In early January, Peter and I were discussing the Lindsay Gattini case against Adrian Kearney. I mentioned something about her being pregnant at the time, and Peter interrupted me saying Lindsay was never pregnant. I'm aware that Peter and Gattini are close friends in the past and worked together against Mr. Kearney. I understand that I'm not represented by any attorneys connected to the Adrian Kearney or Karen Reid defence teams, and that I'm turning over this information because it is important to know the truth about what is going on. I'm not being coerced or compensated, and I'm doing this of my own free will. Wow. Like I said, either someone's committing perjury for their own 15 minutes of fame, or this shit goes so much deeper than any one of us really thought. Turtle Boy said it was filed with a motion by his attorney, as well it should be. Full investigation needed on this? Oh, it would. It would most certainly need a full investigation. But do we think that Bev would do anything other than sit on that? I mean, really? If true, Canton Mass's DA office might be unpopulated in a few weeks. We can only hope, honestly. Sworn affidavit in the Norfolk County Superior Court alleges that the Commonwealth agent was paid $1,500 a month by the DA's office and bribed with a couch by Jen McCabe to post misinformation about Karen Reid and Turtle Boy in an attempt to have them both incarcerated. I literally do not know what to say beyond holy shit. Because do I think that anything is going to come out of this? Abso-fucking-lutely not. This will be buried so fast. Whole trial's just getting more and more corrupt. It's wild. It needs to be studied for decades to come. I agree. Jason, thank you very much for your super chat. Oh, I just realised the speaker bot isn't on. No wonder things were not actually getting read out. Hope Bev's retirement's very short. Well, we'll see. Bev's involved. I have said for a while now that I genuinely believe that Bev's got a vested interest in the Karen Reid case. I don't know what the ultimate goal of it is, but you know, it's exactly as extensive as we think. Aussie, where the fuck is Mayor Michelle Wu and the governor? Actually, that's a damn good question. Cano's not doing the Turtle Boy case. Well, we can only hope that because I didn't mind that male judge that was looking over the Kearney case. So, police chief resigns just before this gets out. Is it a coincidence? Probably not, in my personal opinion. It's all just so insane, though. Like, how long can it be allowed to continue? Like, I want to see whether or not hang on, give me a second. Nick, fuck you. I'm sorry. Nick Starrow posted, we need to know, was it the gorilla couch? And it's the fucking gorilla couch that Jeff was going to buy off Temu. Alright. Sworn affidavit filed in Norfolk County, bribed by Jim McCabe. Miss Peter also claims that Jennifer McCabe threatened Michael Morrissey that she would not testify against Karen Reid unless he was incarcerated for the trial, which is why they tried to revoke my bail on March 18. Miss Peter also claims she created the AI image of Alan Jackson and Karen Reid embracing last June. Please let me have the additional documents. Oh, yes, it's got the motion to compel. Okay. Now comes Adrian Kearney and respectfully moves that the Honourable Court, pursuant to the court rules, compel the production of discovery detailed below, which has been requested from the prosecution multiple times since October 8, and which disclosure is required by prior orders of this court and imposed by Rule 50. Oh, no shit, so there's something else that's not being... defence may... Okay, so maybe this isn't what I thought it was and what I'm after. Defence has made 3 letters of demand for orders and or required discovery concerning civilian Catherine Peter, who on information and belief is working as an agent for the Commonwealth in their prosecution against Mr. Kearney and Karen Reid. Although the first demand was made 6 months ago, the prosecution has neither provided the defence with any of the requested discovery nor indicated that none of the requested items or information are within their possession. Yeah, because they don't want to have to lie about it, which is surprising. Well, see, the funny thing is that they started actually having to make the gorilla couches and they don't look anywhere near as good as the AI image, and people kept returning them, which I think is funny. Prosecution hasn't responded to any of the demands made on October 8th, 17th, or March 29th, all of which describe in great detail the good faith basis for our belief that the prosecution is in possession of the evidence that requires disclosure. In addition to the outstanding discovery, Mr. Kearney's defence has since received further confirmation that such evidence exists. Specifically, the evidence is described in a sworn affidavit of an acquaintance of Miss Peter, a copy which is attached as an exhibit. Oh, it is the document I was after. As detailed by the sworn statement of the witness, Miss Peter has admitted to the witness that she has a long-standing relationship in which she has assisted the Commonwealth in their efforts to prosecute Mr. Kearney and Miss Reid. Miss Peter's relationship with the Commonwealth and its key witnesses against Mr. Kearney and Miss Reid include evidence that, amongst others, she regularly speaks with and meets with Reid's prosecutors, receives monthly payments from the Commonwealth in exchange for her assistance against Mr. Kearney and Miss Reid, received items of value from a key witness, Jim McCabe, was granted de facto immunity from prosecution in exchange for her assistance with the Commonwealth. Altered, destroyed, or disposed of material evidence, including the contents of a cellular phone that would be favourable to Mr. Kearney. Am I pronouncing it right? Kearney? Should I just be calling him Turtle Boy? I don't know. Admitted her intent to start rumours about Mr. Kearney's purported harassment of jurors to further the Commonwealth's unsuccessful effort to ban him from covering the case. Using a social media platform to help the Commonwealth circumvent gag orders in relation to the Reid case. Stalked, harassed and spied on Mr. Kearney, Miss Reid and one of her attorneys and the supporters of Miss Reid. Aidan Carney. Thank you. Significantly, according to the witness's sworn statement, brain no worky, Ms. Peter admitted to her that Jen McCabe issued an ultimatum directly to DA Morrissey in exchange for a favourable testimony against Ms. Reid. She would not testify until Turtle Boy is in jail. Ms. Peter further told the witness when McCabe was told that the Commonwealth can simply subpoena her, she implied that if her demands were not met, we would alter her testimony in a manner that was designed to harm the Commonwealth's case against Ms. Reid. I'll be honest, that doesn't make any sense to me. Because it would not be in the McAlberts' favour or in their interests in order to... Because if Karen Reid isn't convicted, all eyes immediately turn onto the McAlberts. as to what really happened. Admitted that Lindsay Gattini lied about a material fact relevant to her criminal allegations against Mr. Carney. Significantly, according to the witness's sworn statement, Miss Peter admitted to her that Jen McCabe issued an ultimatum. Oh, I already got that. Miss Peter further admitted that to the witness that on March 16th she met with Miss McCabe and DA Morrissey in Braintree, and when the witness saw Miss Peter shortly after the meeting, Miss Peter had a manila envelope with her. On information and belief, Miss McCabe used the words "we," meaning in addition to herself, other key prosecution witnesses, that's a typo, to whom she is close and who would also not testify favourably for the prosecution unless Mr. Carney was in jail. Prosecution still hasn't complied with the obligation to provide the discoverable electronic communications from representatives of the DA's office and witnesses against Mr. Carney. See, that's interesting. No, I agree, AP. Nothing's going to happen to them. No, actually, you know what? You're probably right. Nothing's going to happen. Oh, shit. Did I actually get this working? I was trying to fix this bunny rabbit thing that Scarlett gave me earlier, and she's like, Daddy, it won't work. It won't walk properly. It's like a... Anyway. Shelby Fogg joining the champs. Sorry, that's never not going to be funny. DA will never go after the McAlberts if Canton's really as bad as we believe it is. Yeah. None of the foregoing items or information has been provided to the defence team by the Commonwealth despite several prior requests in addition to pre-existing Rule 14 obligations. Based upon the information provided by the witness's sworn statement and the contents of our three previous letter demands, there is strong reason to believe that there exists discoverable information and material in the Commonwealth's possession, custody or control, whether of the Carney or Reid prosecution teams, related to Miss Peter's involvement with the Commonwealth and or witnesses who will testify against Mr. Carney. The prosecutor also has a duty to inform each member of the prosecutor team whom he has reason to believe may be in possession, custody or control of discoverable items of information, and then inquire of each person as to the existence of such. Thus, at a minimum, the prosecutor must address the issues raised in the affidavit and letters of demand with DA Morrissey, Hank Brennan, Adam Lally, Laura McLaughlin, Miss Peter, Miss McCabe, Kenneth Mello, Brian Tully and John Fanning. Did Peggy suggest a timeline? She didn't testify to it. I don't believe that Peggy was involved with the generation of the timeline, if it's the same one they're talking about. Any discoverable evidence then must be immediately collected and promptly disclosed to the defence. This, of course, includes prompt disclosure of any evidence that the Reid prosecution team has in their possession, custody or control, which adversely impacts the credibility of any witness against Mr. Carney, is otherwise favourable to him or casts doubt on the case against him. Dork, thank you very much. Commonwealth's disclosure obligation to Mr. Carney remains irrespective of any purported view of the evidence's reliability, credibility or admissibility, and without regard to whether or not the information has been documented in any manner. In other words, when the subject matter is discoverable, the prosecution must promptly disclose any information derived from the conversations or interviews between or among Miss Peter, the relevant witnesses against Mr. Carney, and any members of the Carney and Reid prosecution team, even if it was not memorialised in any way. That's a pretty stark and straightforward Rule 14 application. Meatball Morrissey's up for re-election. Apparently 2 people are running against him. Don't know that we'll see much out of that anyway. Production of the requested and any other outstanding discovery within 14 days of the date of this motion. Promptly schedule a hearing thereafter on the issue of sanctions under Rule 14J for the unexcused failure to provide discovery. Damn, we love to see that. Issue an order for show cause upon the Commonwealth at an evidentiary hearing as to why the case should not be dismissed with prejudice or be subject to such other relief as authorised by Rule 14.2J and any other such relief. Do defence attorneys get paid when they have to retry a case? Basically, the retainer never stops, Aaron. So yeah, it's not like they go through the first trial and the charging stops. Karen would be paying through the nose for this. Was Karen Reed the suitcase killer? No, still life. That was oh fuck! Now I'm gonna get it mixed up. Not your business. What? Oh god, chat, help me out here. Fuck, what was her name? Oh, excuse me. I think the reason Hank Brennan sounds like his throat's full of jizz is because he has a throat full of jizz. Who is that? I'll be damned. So there are details that back up. Sarah Boone, thank you. I think at least one of them is doing pro bono. I don't know if Alessi's actually doing it pro bono or not. I don't think it really matters at the end of the day, bad as it sounds. So this guy served as a police officer for 4.5 years, and then he went and became a vascular surgeon. That's interesting. Oh, is she the one that's Mass Hole Mafia? Huh. Well, I mean, to be fair, I mean, from Alan Jackson's perspective, yes, he has to fly in and out and whatnot for the hearings. But if he wins this, the publicity on that is probably worth a substantial discount for her anyway, in my personal opinion, but that's up to him.
Admitted to forging a federal court document against Turtle Boy with YouTube copyright. How can anyone trust you not to forge other documents?
Well, because I admitted it.
Wait, what? What? She forged federal court documents in an effort to have Turtle Boy removed from YouTube?
Hey, faggot, it's Kate. Kate Peter, you know, crusty panties, how you call it. I just wanted to let you know every time you get a block number, it's not Lindsay or LG or anyone else. It's me. And I just want to let you know that when you go back to jail, I had absolutely everything to fucking do with it because you're a dumb motherfucker, right? And every time that you victimize a female, I'm going to be right there pushing back. I just want you to know that. Play this on your fucking live show. I am going to get the best of you. You're a bad person, and everybody's going to see it. Have a nice day. By the way, Karen Reed wants nothing to do with you. Go fuck yourself, bitch. I meant it. I meant it.
Are all the women in Canton just batshit crazy?
Hey, faggot, I can see that you can post my voicemails on your Twitter because you're a bitch. Why can't you face a female? I am not afraid of you. I never witness intimidated you. You're not a witness in any case. You're just a small-dicked fucking faggot that likes to prey on women. Call me back, motherfucker. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about what you did to Lindsay. Let's talk about what you did to John McCabe. Let's talk about what you did to Colin Albert, a 19-year-old juvenile. Let's talk about it, Aiden. Why are you so afraid of... I know that you're not. You just want to self-victimize. How's your wife doing, by the way? How are your abused and neglected children doing, by the way? Call me back, you fucking faggot. I'll drive over to your parents' house right now. Fuck you.
What the fuck was that? Okay, so this is the woman that supposedly... This is the woman that is the subject of the affidavit that I read. I'm starting to believe it may be true. Oh, and she goes, she's a murderous hooker. Classy. Wow, I'm not even going to dignify that by reading it out. I don't want those words in my mouth. Did she say Hayden? No, Turtle Boy's first name is Aiden. Aiden Carney. Just a taste of what's been going on behind the scenes the whole time. Like, there's a reason I stayed the fuck out of all of the background stuff. I was genuinely more interested in the actual court case. I tell you what, though, after hearing that, I don't know that my ADHD is going to let me not dive down that rabbit hole now. So she's not some parody account? Apparently not. Oh, she went after his daughter and everything. Hang on.
Yeah, I just want to let you know, I'm looking at the internet right now. I'm watching. There's an individual named Aiden Carney. He was just removed from the courtroom. He's in violation of a restraining order. He's refusing to leave the courthouse steps. He's within 100 yards of this victim, and he's currently screeching about how she's there. So he's definitely in violation of his restraining order. You might want to get someone down there.
Okay, so Aiden Carney is at the courthouse. He's in violation of a restraining order?
Restraining order, yeah.
Do you know who the RO is against?
The victim is Lindsay Gaetani. She's there with the John O'Keefe's mother right now, Mrs. O'Keefe. So he's, instead of leaving the courthouse on the steps screaming about it, I know it's a football field. He needs to stay away.
Okay, he's out on the steps currently?
Yep.
Can you describe what he looks like?
He is he's a short guy, about 5'8", glasses. He's wearing a suit jacket. He's got a cell phone in front of his face. His nose kind of looks like a penis.
Okay. What color shirt or jacket is he wearing?
Right now it is, I would say that's a gray.
Gray? White male, black male?
White.
Okay.
Yeah, gray jacket, blue shirt.
Okay. And are you...
green tie.
Are you just a witness, or...?
I just happened to be watching it online, and he's screaming about how he got removed from the courthouse due to a restraining order, but he's definitely still in violation of the restraining order as he sits on the steps. So.
Okay. All right. Can I grab your name for the record?
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Kate Peter, Peter.
Okay. And your date of birth?
12/29/1987.
I was sitting here thinking, holy shit, if she'd gone through and done all of that she should have been asking for more money, because $1,500 per month for doing what's alleged in the affidavit, Now I'm starting to think she would have done it for free. Is she hot at least? Probably not. And she's just vile. Look at this shit. Like, I don't know what happened between these two, what the previous information is. But bringing his daughter into it, like, that was always gonna be triggering to me. Talking about how his daughter might commit self-yeeting. Like, oh, fuck this cunt. Nah. Nah. That is vile. I took the liberty of sharing your address with these witnesses, friends, and families of the murder victim. Not that I needed to, as it's available online.
I was at the courthouse. She showed up per her account about an hour after I was there. I never saw her. I was never alerted to her presence. I stayed in the courtroom. I went downstairs to meet with the special prosecutor and the rest of the group that I was with, and then I left. 9 hours later.
It took me a moment to read through that shit.
Mr. Carney is currently the criminal defendant in a Superior Court indictment, several counts of witness intimidation, several counts of picketing and parading.
And it's very clear she tried to cover herself by saying, oh, this is all available online. Yeah, it's the malicious intent that makes it a crime, sweetheart.
He has more charges coming right now involving some matters that I don't really want to discuss. They're very sensitive relating to domestic violence. So he is angry and upset with me because I have been cooperating with the prosecution and giving them information on him. A lot of the quotes that he puts in here that are not relevant to the statute at all, where I say that he can blame me for all of his problems, is because I am furnishing information. This is retaliatory.
It gets me every single fucking time when I get to one of the end of the end of one of these news articles. Holy shit! I don't. I God damn. This woman is insane. If I have the right Kate Peters, she used to work with Carney doing research, etc. for the news. Yeah, I think she broke me at your age, at least for a minute there. And sweetheart, you're a Massachusetts too. I wouldn't be going out there and like, you know. That's... I take it back. I fully believe the affidavit now. Like... That is horrific. And I wait, what's that? I think everybody in chat knows. Yes, Bernice, but I guarantee you're still more attractive than that chick. Like, I can't come with this shit. I mean, I didn't dive into the Hale stuff because I didn't want to get into, like, all the crazy bullshit. And all I did was scratch the surface behind the court case on the Reed stuff, and I'm fucking lost for words. Still won't do anything to help Karen. Bev won't believe it. Good thing is, AP, this wasn't filed in Bev's court. So... it'll depend on where the ruling comes from. Someone reproduced with her. Yes, but from what I was just reading, it appears that the kids were taken away. Hang on. Now I have to dive back into this. Like, I just swam to the surface and now I'm diving back down. Hang on. Lost 2 of her children to the state after years of drug-fueled abuse and neglect. On March 10th, 2014, the mother and father, Stephen Young, signed an open adoption agreement for the children. I know that I'm okay with this being publicised. In April, the child was discharged from the hospital and reunified with his mother. The other child was reunified with the mother on February 19th, 2015. They were removed again in May of 2015 after hotline response was initiated due to the mother relapsing and going into crisis. The department had concerns regarding the mother and her ability to be honest with the department and her mental health issues. And DCF were awarded permanent custody of both children in September of 2015. Ow. Fuck. Am I bleeding? I think I just cut myself with my own damn finger. No, it's cut bits and pieces. That's why I'm not a huge... like, I'm not great with this, and I'm not a fan of this. Apparently she was taking ADHD medication, but I don't know that that's... Oh, God. In January 2013, the maternal grandmother gave notice on both children. They were placed in an emergency foster home. Following day, both children were transitioned to the home of Mr. and Mrs. K, a department foster home. One of the children was removed from the home after Mrs. K observed him acting inappropriately with the other child. Foster parents felt that she could not keep both children safe if they were sharing a room. So the boy was then placed with the hospital star program and remained there until September 2, 2013. Oh my God, this is horrific. My ears are bleeding from the insanity. Feels like it. Like... Hey, Charlie. I haven't set up the call-in numbers, but, I mean, look. There's no other reason why they got involved. Oh, that's what you meant. Sorry, but I just realised you were talking about the chat you did earlier than that. I can't with this shit. Can we talk about happy fun time stuff? How old were you when you found out Goofy was a cow? He's not a cow, he's a dog. Is affirmative action racist? Provide a concise yes or no reply. Grok, yes. ChatGPT, no. I'm shocked. Oh, crap. Oh! Oh, shit, for some reason I thought that was, what's her face? When have I ever called out anyone for having their own number? And Google numbers are not available in Australia. I've already looked into that and tried. If you got anything you want to say, feel free to put it in a chat. I have no issues with that. Met my husband when my stepdaughter was 7. Been together for 22 years. Lots of ups and downs. That's fine. Fun time lollipops. Hey, Aussie Insider, how you doing? I'm just... My brain is slowly melting from the latest, like... BS. I can't with that shit. That was just... That was insanity. House of Horrors moved from local national media, June 23, Boston lead investigator fired by mayor, media scrubbed by the governor. Oh, no shit. Do a summary of what I just learned. The summary of what I just learned is that I need to stay the fuck out of the Karen Reid stuff that doesn't involve the court case directly. Like... Wait, what? 6 trans men living in a city-funded apartment had 4 boys, all under age 12. Jesus Christ. Please summarize. What I just learnt was that some upstanding citizen from Canton has a real problem with Turtle Boy and is not is not shy about leaving voicemails. I know nothing about anything that's happened between them, but what I will say is that if you're going to leave messages like that sort of fucking shit, I don't even know how to fucking summarize it. It melted my brain. That's what it did. I know. I wouldn't even say that I met Krusty. What I heard was 4 or 5 voicemails off of because I was reading Aiden's latest news post because we went through the affidavit. So I was trying to work out if I would genuinely believe that that particular affidavit would be supportive of a motion, and because I was thinking either someone is massively perjuring themselves for 15 minutes of fame, or this shit goes even deeper than we thought. And what I have realized is that I need to get a shovel, because this clearly goes so much deeper and further than I thought it did. She's got Turtle Boy derangement syndrome. Sounds like it. Do you think the feds can now access her Venmo to see if it's true? I would think it would come down to whether or not Venmo would be receptive, but I wouldn't think so. I mean, look, even if she's getting $1,500 however long, because I don't know the details. I don't specifically know if she was being paid by Venmo. I mean, if you're going to do stupid shit like that, I mean, why would you not at least be smart about it and pay cash? And that's sort of why I'm like, did Jen McCabe really buy her a couch? And was the bitch dumb enough to put it on her credit card? Also, Insider, if you're going to clip part of that, just be aware you're going to need the bleep button. I dropped the C-bomb a couple of times. But then just listening to those unhinged voicemails. This woman has no brain. She would not even think about cash. Then theoretically there should be some sort of financial statements or whatever else. Did you dare dip your toes into the Turtle Boy topic? Beware the trolls. Well, I kind of had to this time around because I needed to know who the affidavit was referring to. And then listening to those unhinged rants. Warrant from the feds will have to comply. Look, that's a fair call. I will give you that, Jason. It's not a C-bomb. It's 100% true if it's a factual description. I know, but I'm still giving Insider a heads up so she doesn't think less of me. You just started with this story. I'll be perfectly honest, I don't know that I can go down this particular rabbit hole because I will lose days of my life. Oh my God. All right, let me see if I can quickly whip through. Oh, he says quickly, is he? All right, I'm just having a quick look through. Oh, what? No, hang on. Time out. I just saw that Aiden's done a a news story on the Harvey Montgomery case. Hang on. Harvey Montgomery's birth mother exploits son she had adopted and murdered daughter to try to win Supermum 20k cash prize. Attacks adoptive parents for trying to stop her from winning. That little girl never stood a fucking chance. Like, those of you that watched what I could get through with the Harvey Montgomery trial, and you know what, one of these days I will go back and I will finish that trial, but that was so heartbreaking. Because when I was watching that, she was the same age as my daughter. She would be the same age now. And I'm not going to lie, there's a likeness there. So yes, it was hurting to try and watch through that trial. But frankly, I think that little girl deserves to have her story told. She was an NPC in Elder Scrolls Online. She'd probably be the target of assassination. In January 2022, the world heard the tragic story of Harmony Montgomery, the 5-year-old girl that was last seen in 2020, but wasn't reported missing until January of 22 because her father had been carrying her around in a duffel bag. Her father, Adam Montgomery, was awarded sole custody after Harmony's mother, Crystal Sorey, abandoned her to move to Florida in order to get clean. Oh, classy. Adam Montgomery was convicted of murdering Harmony in 2024 and has been rightfully condemned as a villainous monster. Well, yeah, he admitted to murdering her, but for some reason he decided that, hey, you know what? I'm going to contest the fact that I squeezed her body into a duffel bag and then an ice cooler and squeezed the juice out of her in order to hide the body as I moved around with it for years.
Hello there.
Hey, MJ. Yeah, look, for those of you that need a quick rundown on the Montgomery case and why it hit so hard home, Harvey Montgomery was a 5-year-old little blonde-haired, blue-eyed girl that never did wrong by anybody. She never had the chance to. But she had a drugged-up mother and a father who was awarded sole custody. Whilst they were driving around because they had, you know, been kicked out of whatever else, I have no idea why it says you're not a member. It should be. While they were driving around, Adam turned around and smacked Harmony in the face. Hard. And despite hearing rasping noises coming from the back seat, they laid a blanket over her head, fed the other kids in the car, and ignored her. Didn't provide any medical attention or anything like that. The only reason that anything happened was that they were then in a car accident. Adam proceeded to put her in a bag that was in the boot of the car, and she stayed in that bag for a number of years. I'm not going to lie, I would love 5 minutes alone with that man. Yeah, she wet herself. She'd been holding it in for a long time and no one was listening to her, and Crystal Sorey has been portrayed as the grieving mother wronged by the system who was actively demanding justice. But it took her 2 years to report her daughter missing, so clearly she didn't care enough to protect her from the monster who killed her. Oh. The fact that you needed DCF involvement was entirely your fault. Your baby wouldn't have been endangered or had any need to be under DCF care if you'd done your job as a mother. Absolutely. Mainstream media bought into Crystal Sorry's nonsense and portraying her as a grieving mother looking for answers, which did give me a little bit of, like, it. I thought it was some oh, no, Boosh. I would not give him the benefit of using a firearm on him. I would want to see the light die in his eyes as I slowly choke the motherfucker.
Hi, baby. If you can see me, if you can hear me, I want you to know that I never stop looking for you, and I won't stop fighting until I find you, okay? And you stay strong, and Mom is right here fighting for you. I love you.
A lot of people are afraid to call out someone like Crystal Sorry because she has the disease that made her choose heroin over her children. But I'm not, which is why I'm controversial, says Carney. The fact of the matter is that we're all thinking it's just disgusting to see this trash donkey going on TV and using the spotlight to portray herself as someone who gave a shit. Luckily, Harmony's brother Jameson, who also had the misfortune of being fired out of Crystal Sorry's stench trench, oh Jesus Christ, was adopted by news media personality Blair Miller and her husband. Wait, her husband or his husband? And his husband, sorry. Crystal isn't just exploiting the child who is dead partly as a result of her own failed parenting, she's also exploiting her former son for profit. According to the post made last week by Blair Miller, Crystal is using both Harmony and Jameson to try and win a $20,000 trip to Napa, California as part of a super mum. Fuck off! She claims she's going to use the money to invest in her children, one of whom is dead, one of whom who doesn't know who she is, and the third who she conceived while getting clean and has no shot at life as long as being raised by her. Miller contacted the contest officials and asked them to remove her pictures from their website, but they refused to help him protect the children, and as a result, her page is still up. She's using their photos as part of her competition entry as well? We won't let Jameson be victimised again and again, nor his sister Harmony should be the basis of a profit, especially based on the tragic chain of events. Our job is to protect him. Our job is to teach honesty to our boys. We've tried many avenues to resolve this before addressing it publicly. She's pretending to be some sort of supermum by using the two children she abandoned, one of whom was murdered as a result of her failed parenting, in an attempt to profit for herself. She's in 11th place? She fails to point out that oh my God. Her bio says that she has 3 children, one of whom was murdered and the youngest who has autism. She fails to point out that the other child is no longer hers. She says that the most rewarding part of being a supermum is being able to heal parts of my childhood and stop certain cycles from continuing. Don't know anything about her childhood, but I find it hard to imagine that the cycle she's stopping from continuing can be much worse than being murdered or forcefully adopted out to another family. She says that her best memory of her kids was when they were born, and she plans to buy a car and invest in her kids with the money. Still using Harmony's death for attention for herself by doing something she couldn't be bothered to do since the last time we saw her on FaceTime in 2019. Look for her remains. She recently... no fucking way. She recently posted videos of her and another woman walking through the woods for 5 minutes, hoping they'd randomly come across the skeletal remains of a 5-year-old so she can pretend that she's a good mother. Oh, I can't. That means he still hasn't... That means he still hasn't actually led the authorities to the remains. That was part of the reason that I didn't make it to the end of the trial. I didn't want to know. Fuck me sideways. Sorry, that was unprofessional of me. I needed to take a second. That just... let's head over to the smoking gun and have a little bit of fun, shall we? Not see a pleasant outcome and it'll haunt you for days until you finally get it off your mind. Best to let the issue rest. Oh. Cops bust drunk man wearing pink thong, fake breasts, and a pink wig. Sir, this is an Applebee's. A drunk man wearing... You know what? I think I might have actually covered this one already. Was that the 8th of April? Oh, well. Drunk man wearing a pink wig, fake breasts, and a pink thong was arrested Friday evening for causing a disturbance outside the chain restaurant where concerned diners had their eating good in the neighbourhood disrupted. Cops say Daniel Ciriello, yes, I've definitely covered this because I remember the name, 49, was so intoxicated that he was unable to provide for his own safety and well-being as he was stumbling around the Applebee's parking lot at Clearwater, Florida. The extremely disorientated gentleman tried to enter a vehicle. Why did my brain just do that automatically? Because I didn't want to say his name. Tried to enter a vehicle that did not belong to him. When questioned by deputies, he said that he was unable to answer. It was said he was unable to answer basic questions such as where he was and where he came from and what state he was in. Well done. Oh, good God. Woman 88 busted for scooter crash. In an instance of grey-on-grey crime, an 88-year-old woman is accused of fleeing the scene after ploughing her SUV into the mobility scooter of a 77-year-old woman victim who was thrown from the electric vehicle and hospitalised for her injuries. Investigators say that Carolyn Segrist was driving in the parking lot of the Sam's Club at Clearwater. Oh my God, it's still Clearwater in Florida. Around 8:30 a.m. yesterday when the crash occurred. Segrist cops charged struck Laverne Hampton's mobility scooter with the front end of her Buick Envision. Hampton was thrown from the scooter. How far was she thrown? And was there tail light found at the scene? I'm watching you, Wazowski. Always watching. Is it me or is her head pasted on? It looks larger than her body. That's the hair. Like, her head stops here. Wait, hang on. Her head stops here. That was too soon. 200 feet, no tail light. There we go. Did she do a pirouette too? Just because there's vision in the name doesn't mean that the car can see for her. This is true. Segrist, seen it right, allegedly did not stop at the scene of the crash to render aid or exchange information. Court records... I'm sorry, but when you're 88 and 77, what information are you exchanging? Because it's sure as shit not insurance. Do you use Bengay? They were racing and she couldn't handle losing to an electric scooter. Court records do not really reveal the extent of the injuries suffered by Hampton. 4 hours after the incident, police arrested the retired octogenarian for leaving the scene of a crash involving serious injuries, which is a felony. Segrist was booked into the county jail and scheduled for initial court appearance this morning. Segrist lives about 4 miles from the Sam's Club. In a condominium she purchased with her husband in 87. In 2023, she pled guilty to careless driving that resulted in a crash. She was fined $166 for that traffic infraction. She thought it was a speed bump. I mean, with that forehead, yeah, maybe. Oh, no. Oh, come on. Brother 38 catches illegal ricochet. In the course of a child CP probe targeting his younger brother, an upstate New York man has caught a legal ricochet shot when investigators discovered videos showing him engaging in sexual acts with animals, including a cow. One's into kids, the other one's into bestiality. Holy shit, mum must be proud. Mark Banks, 38, was arrested earlier this month for sexual misconduct after allegedly having sexual intercourse with a dairy cow on the property of Windsor Acres, the Broome County farm where he worked for 22 years. Why would you videotape this? New York State police police investigation originally focused on Banks' brother, Christopher, 37, for acts for possessing CP that was transmitted online. When police executed a search warrant at his residence, which he apparently shares with his sibling, they scooped up an assortment of electronic equipment. A review of the seized materials resulted in the filing of a felony charge against Christopher for possessing CP. A school cafeteria employee, he was immediately fired by the local school district. In a handwritten statement given to police, out of my own free will, Mark wrote that the state police found some videos on my device today involving sex with animals, adding that when I was younger, I had sex with a cow. Well, no, of course the cow couldn't consent. The cow was under the age. They did a pit maneuver on the mobility scooter. I like that. After describing the illicit act, Mark wrote, I did not ejaculate, but did so because of sexual urge. It didn't work at first, and I shifted the bucket and tried again. What the fuck? This did not happen again after that. Oh my God, please tell me they've got a copy of the note. The Banks brothers are due in town court Thursday morning to answer the criminal charges. A Class A misdemeanor Mark faces the Class A misdemeanor that Mark faces carries a maximum 1-year jail term. If convicted on the CP, Christopher faces up to 4 years in custody. Upon conviction, each of the charges carries an additional penalty of having to register as a sex offender. Moo? Moo. Oh my fucking God, I need the clip from City Slickers. His name is Norman. You were pulling on his dick. Oh my God, it's the note! Oh my God! What are you doing, stepfarmer? Be it known that by this information, investigator Jacob Genther, as the complainant herein, stationed at Birmingham BCI, accuses Mark G. Banks, the above-mentioned defendants, with having committed the misdemeanor of sexual misconduct. Person has sex with animal or dead human body? How is that not a separate thing? Oh yeah, it's just as degenerate to fuck a dead body as it is a cow. I'm sorry, what? Well, he said he didn't nut, Boosh, so I don't think he got the opportunity to. On or about 4/11/2023 in the town of Colesville, the defendant did intentionally, knowingly, and unlawfully commit the misdemeanor sexual act. The person has sex with animal or a dead human body. I love how he says, oh, it happened years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago, motherfucker. It's not even close to being out. Oh my God. Do you reckon there's a third brother that's going to get charged with incest? On the aforementioned date and time at 2906 State Route 79 in the town of Colesville, the defendant did have sexual intercourse with a dairy cow on the property of Windsor Acres, all contrary to the statute provided herein. The above allegations are fact and made by the complainant on direct knowledge and or upon information and belief. I have the right to remain silent, and I do not have to make any statement I don't want to. If I give up that right, anything I do anything I do say can and will be used against me in the court of law. I have the right to have a lawyer present before making any statement. If I should decide I do want a lawyer and cannot afford to hire one, a lawyer will be appointed for me. Oh my God. Mum is so proud of her boys. My name is Mark G. Banks, and I'm giving this statement to investigate against her out of my own free will. I currently work at Windsor Acres. Did work at Windsor Acres. I currently located... Oh my God, I gotta get through this. I have worked there for about 22 years or so. And the state police found some videos on my device today involving sex with animals. When I was younger, I had sex with a cow by inserting my penis into the vaginal area of the cow on the farm. I did not ejaculate, but I did so because of a sexual urge. It didn't work at first. It didn't work at first! And I shifted the bucket and tried again. So technically that's 2 counts. This did not happen again after that. Holy shit balls. Cowpoke is also a verb. No, apparently. Yes, they proved that he fucked the cow because he filmed it. Makes you wonder what the mum... that the mama is around when her kids... What? Makes you wonder what the mum is around while her kids are in cows and with CP. I know, right? I love that they redacted the face of the cow in the photo. Yeah, exactly. He's got cow sex and attempted cow sex. Yeah, it's pretty rude of him to call the cow the bucket, you know? Like, for God's sakes. Oh, all right, what else we got? Man offers vodka spritz to Florida deputies after a chase. A Florida man's facing charges after he offered Highland County deputies an alcoholic beverage during a bizarre pursuit. Around 3 p.m. on Saturday, deputies say the 39-year-old stole several items, including several alcoholic beverages, and walked out of the Spring Lake Market. Shortly before deputies arrived, they said that Smith was in a black minivan driving circles around the store, probably looking for... Oh, no, moving on. He then sped off, launching a pursuit that ended several miles later in the parking lot of a business at the airport.
Stop! Stop! I'm gonna give you a drink, that's it! He's drinking some... looked like a beer or something. He just drove by. He's back towards, I believe, Lakeview. Show me your hands now! Get on the ground now! Get on the ground now! Get on the ground! Get on the ground now! Put your hands behind your back!
A lot of stupid right now.
You guys had fun though, right?
Oh, that was totally worth it. During the pursuit, deputy said Smith held a can of Kettle One vodka spritz out the window as he drove by a deputy trying to get him to stop, telling the deputy, "I was just going to give you a drink, that's it." Smith then attempted to ram 2 patrol vehicles in the midst of getting all 4 tyres flattened by spike strips. Smith was eventually tased and charged with 2 counts of aggravated assault on a law enforcement officer, battery on a law enforcement officer, 2 counts of resisting arrest, DUI, refusal to submit to a test, and petty theft. I fucking love doing this. Like, I'm sorry, but seriously? Sorry, 1 second. All right. Hey, Jay. Dash cam was clearer than the one in the Karen Reed case. Tell me about it. He did not seem to attack the officers in that little clip, but I guess there is more to it. There probably is. I mean, isn't there always? Hang on, I need... There we go. Feels off that he didn't get the dog after the last story. Oh God, let's not. No, let's not with that shit. Okay, let's leave the dog out of this. Cowbangers who know to drink Kettle One. Gross. Battered officer was on the ground after the taser. Oh, was he? Oh, I must have missed it. Smith was eventually tased and charged. How did I miss that? Oh, okay, because it's because he ran into them.
Get on the ground now! Put your hands behind your back!
Yeah, that'll do it. What's this? Yeah, no. I'm not logging in with Facebook just for that. Dog treated with... What? Dog treated with plague? New Mexico has its first reported case of the plague in 2025. It was reported in the New Mexico Department of Health on Friday. Yikes. Dog living in the Santa Fe County has been diagnosed with a plague since received care and recovered, according to the State Department of Health. Yep. Some symptoms to look out for in cats and dogs include fever, lethargy, and loss of appetite. No shit. All right, ladies and gents, I'm going to switch over to the other page because I didn't press any buttons, but very kindly, we have a guest.
Awesome. What's
Hello?
up? So did they give the dog plague? They're saying they treated it with plague.
Well, that's what they're saying, that it's been treated for plague, but I mean, it's New Mexico. I mean,
Yeah.
what are we? So, oh God. But long time no see. How's things?
Yeah. No, I had my wife and daughter are helping out with Taekwondo belt testing today, so dropped them off and came back home and thought I could use
fair
some
enough.
company.
Oh, very much appreciate that. Just got to work out where I put the chat. It doesn't matter. All right. Oh, yes. Redeem should work on this page, people. I just don't have the rolling chat, so. Oh God. I don't understand how some people just do stupid shit like that, though.
Yes, Wim, I'm enjoying the weather. It's overcast and it's going to storm today, so.
Oh, really?
He's in Oklahoma too.
Oh, okay. It's really one of those things where you don't know how the weather's ever going to play out. We were supposed to have 4 days of just like drenching rain, and we had almost nothing, but we had 1 day, and it was enough to screw up it was enough of a rain to screw up a farm auction that we had to deal with.
Oh, of course.
And it was just like, oh, for crying out loud. No, that's fine.
Well, we've had enough rain. I think last week before, we got like 5 or 6 inches of rain over the weekend. And a week or
Jesus.
2 before that, we had the same thing. It just crazy.
No, fair enough.
So,
So, obvious question first. Have you ever had to deal with a guy admitting to screwing a cow?
no.
Just thought I'd throw that out there just for the sake of it. I can't. But you picked up on the same thing I did. I can't believe that statute covers both the cow and a dead body.
It's just a Class A misdemeanor.
1 year for screwing a cow or a dead body. Like, and I'm still surprised. Yeah, look, I suppose there's some weird shit that goes on out there, but at the same time, I'd be like,
Probably get 30 days in Iowa or something, you know?
pat on the back and an instructional video. They don't admit to it in Oklahoma. Well, you know. Oh, God. What else we got in the headlines?
Their mom must be so proud of them.
I know, right? That's what I said. Imagine if there was a third or fourth. I was trying to run through my head what the other potential crimes that would fit into that category would be. And I was like, oh, hang on, what's this? Teen arrested for allegedly poisoning his mother's milk with bleach. Oh, Jesus. No, I thought that was going to be funnier. The headline was teen arrested for giving his 77-year-old mother a Trump-recommended COVID-19 remedy. Did not expect that. We found your DNA inside the cow. Wasn't me.
We got you on video. Wasn't me.
The video's on your computer. Wasn't me. McAllister man has pled guilty to theft of government property from Army ammunition plant.
Oh, yeah, that's Oklahoma.
Yeah. Entered a guilty plea to 2 counts of theft of government property. According to the indictment on July 22, the 38-year-old stole property from the ammunition plant valued at over $1,000. So what? 2 clips?
Yeah, there's a big ammunition depot down there. So
okay.
Yep.
Oh, hang on, what's this?
It's better than some of the other stories that have come out of that area the last couple of years. So
Jill, thank you very much for the super chat. She said, if the hubby is bragging to mates about screwing the old cow, should I be worried? I think you'll be fine. Holy crap, he stole a missile. He stole an inert training missile, electronic tablets, telescope spotlights, tools, and a Nikon camera. Okay. I mean, if you want to go down that road, go for it, I suppose. Like,
Brett Ketchell's like probably the smallest penis that dairy cow ever had.
Well,
I mean, it could be the biggest. Who knows?
I mean, it's a dairy cow.
Dairy cow. So.
At least once in its lifetime, it's had the real thing. Don't ask me how I know that, people. Just go with it. CDC reporting on an uptake of cases of whooping cough. No thanks. Oh, and that's just really bad takes on woodpecker damages more than 20 vehicles in Massachusetts town, infuriating more, even more. Okay, you know what? I'm looking at this. Hang on. Gotta remember how to work StreamYard now. Woodpecker damages more than 20 vehicles in Massachusetts town. A woodpecker's ruffled feathers as he vandalized neighborhood cars. Appears to have fallen prey to an overzealous pelleted woodpecker that damaged more than 20 vehicles. For weeks, the locals have dealt with broken car windshields and side mirrors. Okay, so this is a self-hating woodpecker that just doesn't like its own image.
Yeah.
Able to capture a photo of the culprit, a large crow-sized bird whacking away at the vehicles. We seem to have a vandal in the neighborhood. I'm describing him as 18 to 24 inches. What guy doesn't like that kind of comparison? Wearing black and white with a red hat. Oh, come on. The woodpecker showed up and landed on the windshield wipers of the RV in our yard and was looking at its own reflection. We were like, you know what? I bet he's the one that's damaged the mirrors. Oh, wow. Right. Huh. Army's communication director said one reason for the woodpecker's aggressive behavior could be the result of peak mating season. Keep the woodpeckers away from the cows. And there's the fart. Well done. Oh, God. Okay, so you saw me losing my shit because I'd never actually dived much behind the background of the Karen Read stuff. How are you finding the trial so far?
Well, I mean, it shouldn't be going on, but from what I've watched, you know, old Auntie Bev's up to her same shenanigans as she was the first time. And I cannot stand Hank Brennan. So I can't stand him.
Not only is this like I wasn't a fan of Lally, to be honest.
He's worse.
I would take him in a heartbeat over Brennan. There's something there's something sleazy and slimy about him that just doesn't.
You know, he's a criminal defense attorney by trade, and he's so most people have that they think that about criminal defense attorneys, but he's making it worse doing what he's doing.
Exactly. This is the equivalent of walking into a used car lot and seeing Hank Brennan there trying to sell you a car. Like
Wim, oh God, sorry. Wim says I found a new meaning for the term dick cheese today.
Oh no. I'm not even with that. Are you serious, Wim? Come on. Brennan's more of a weasel. I do agree with you on that. Wank Brennan. Oh no. When you're with mum in hospital and the family needs to discuss power of attorney to manage your care, it doesn't normally end in a gun battle. Okay. All right.
Wow.
Domestic dispute involving firearm causes lockdown at hospital. Domestic dispute involving a man with a gun led to an hour-long lockdown on Tuesday at Fairview Southdale Hospital. Man pulled a gun inside the hospital but did not fire. The suspect then assaulted the patient and fled. Can only say that it's a domestic assault or a domestic dispute involving parties known to each other, and there was some type of physical altercation that took. Oh, boring.
Yeah.
I hate it when they do that. I'd much rather just, you know.
Clickbait.
Exactly. So, but yeah, the whole thing with me finally learning about Catherine Peters or whatever her name is, like, had you seen the affidavit, like the one that was filed today or yesterday?
No.
Oh, this thing is insane. It was filed in Turtle Boy's case.
Yeah.
And basically, it's someone that knows Catherine Peters saying that she's allegedly been paid by the DA's office $1,500 a month to spread disinformation.
Not surprised.
No, honestly, that part I wasn't really surprised about. The interactions with Jen McCabe, though, is interesting.
No, not surprised. She seems to be she's the damn puppet master right now. I mean, you look at all the ideas she's planted in everyone's head this whole time.
Look, that's a fair call when you think about it.
She's the puppet master.
But do you think she was smart enough to pay for that couch in cash, or do you think she put it on a credit card?
Probably cash.
That's what I'm thinking.
She's got a lot of connection to law enforcement. She knows better. They know how to cover their tracks. I mean, geez.
Oh, she still didn't know how to not search for how long to die in the cold at 2 a.m, though.
Well, she didn't understand quite how the phones work in Google Works. Because she tried to delete the search and run it again later.
Yeah.
Search
And
again
she
later.
probably assumed that her husband would be able to fix whatever the issues were with her phone after the fact. So, wait, what's that? Oh no! Oh no! AI secretly helped write the California bar exam, sparking an uproar.
Oh my goodness.
On Monday, the State Bar of California revealed that it used AI to develop a portion of the multiple choice questions on its February bar exam, causing outrage amongst law school faculty and test takers. The admission comes after weeks of complaints about technical problems and irregularities during the exam administration. The State Bar disclosed that the psychometrician, a personal organization skilled in administering psychological tests, ACS Ventures, created 23 of the 171 scored multiple choice questions with AI assistance.
Wow.
Another 48 came from first year law exam, while Kaplan Exam Services developed the remaining 100 questions.
Jeez.
Oh no. And you know that if they'd run it past AI, the AI would have failed the bar exam as well.
Yeah. Oh, wait.
They defended its practices, telling the LA Times that all questions underwent review by content validation panels and subject matter experts, grounds, before the ACS questions were developed with the assistance of AI and subsequently reviewed by the panel, wrote the State Bar Executive Director Leah Wilson. According to the LA Times, the revelations drawn strong criticism from several legal education experts. I wonder why. The debacle that was the February 25 bar exam is worse than we imagined. So the Assistant Dean of Academic Skills at University of California, I'm speechless. Having the questions drafted by non-lawyers using artificial intelligence is just unbelievable. That's insanity.
That's crazy.
Katie Moran, associate professor at the University of San Francisco School of Law, who specializes in bar exam prep, called it a staggering admission. Well, I'm hoping there'd be a bunch of people that wouldn't get admitted on it, actually. She pointed out the same company that drafted AI-generated questions also evaluated and approved them for the... so we investigated the questions ourselves and found there was nothing wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Switched from the National Conference Bar of Examiners multi-state bar exam to its own hybrid in-person remote testing model last year.
Of course. They think they can do it better.
While facing a $22 million deficit, it contracted with Kaplan Exam Services for $8.25 million to create test questions.
So they're already running a deficit, but we're going to spend more money to do our own tests instead of using the national multi-state bar exam.
We're going to outsource it. We're going to make things run smoother. We're going to spend. We're going to spend bar dues basically, and it's not even going to be handled by lawyers.
We're going to let AI handle it.
Well, it's not even that it was just AI. It was literally that people without legal backgrounds were the ones feeding it into the AI. That just blows my mind, honestly.
It's California.
State Bar plans to ask the California Supreme Court to adjust test scores for the bar exam takers, but has resisted returning to the National Conference of Bar Exam for July, citing test security concerns with remote testing options.
Well, then why are you doing remote testing?
Exactly. Why would you still be doing remote testing?
Bring your happy ass down to the damn testing center and do it in person.
Exactly. Bring your 2B grey lead and do what you need to. That's not okay. That's some BS.
Mm.
Like,
and how are they going to adjust the test scores? Are they just going to increase it by how many questions? Just give everybody those questions correct, make them correct.
I mean, I think the only way that they'd be able to do it would be to completely carve out the 23 tests, the 23 questions, and then say, okay, well, you got this percentage based on the entirety of it. Now that there's 23 less questions, and do it percentage-wise. But even then, I don't think that's accurate or fair because what if you got answers? What if you got the answers?
Well, if you got all 23 of those right, now we got to. So maybe some people got them all right.
Exactly. And then what happens if they got a whole bunch of the other ones wrong and they're like, oh no, now I failed. I'm not going to be a lawyer. Like, well, I mean, to be fair, you probably shouldn't be, but that's not the point. Naked man arrested for breaking into cram school. Only in Japan.
Mm.
Naked man arrested for breaking into cram school, also involved in traffic accidents. Oh no. A naked man arrested on suspicion of breaking into a cram school in Soga City, Saitama Prefecture on Monday night is also suspected of being involved in a number of traffic accidents in which one person was killed and 6 people were injured. Holy crap. Police said the suspect was identified as a 48-year-old whose address and occupation remain unknown. Police said told news conference that they are investigating his involvement in the fatal hit and run, theft of a taxi, and 3 additional incidents that occurred before he broke into the cram school. You don't expect this sort of shit to come out of Japan.
No, it's Japan. I mean, Asian drivers, but you know.
Well, I mean, for a split second there, I was like, hang on, did Johnny Smiley break out of jail? Is it like... According to police, there were multiple reports of a completely naked man with tattoos stealing a vehicle in the city and causing a hit-and-run accident in which a man on a motorcycle was killed. Oh, damn. At around 9 p.m., Nishimura reportedly stole a taxi. The male driver in his 60s had 2 passengers in the back seat. When the taxi stopped at an intersection, he dragged the driver out of the vehicle while yelling, "I'll kill you," and assaulted him. Then stole the taxi with the passengers inside and presumably charged a much higher fee.
Probably did.
The taxi crashed outside the cram school. Nishimura, still naked, entered the cram school at around 9:30 p.m. When a school official called out to him, he punched him in the right side of the head without saying a word. Hello, Stingy. Thank you very much for the super chat. Police were called and he was taken into custody. He's neither confirmed nor denied the allegations and quoted him as saying, "It would be bad if I told you that." Just because you did it doesn't mean you're guilty.
You're guilty. Except in Japan, they'll keep you in jail till you admit to it.
Exactly. There is that. Oh, yeah, no, Stinge, I can't do chat music anymore. They copy claim everything now.
Oh, no.
Which I think is honestly ridiculous, given that, you know, it's AI generated. So I don't know that they've really got they don't really have a leg to stand on there. Oh, God. So how's things been going? What have you been doing aside from, like, I am so out of practice with this shit. I'll be perfectly honest.
Oh, well, I haven't been streaming up very consistently at all. So just here and there. I've had so much court the last few months. I mean, I was in court 4 days this week.
Oh,
and
damn.
a couple of I want to say 3 of those days was probably over 1,000 miles of driving in 3 of those days combined.
Ooh,
so
damn. I feel your pain.
One of those was 500-mile day round trip.
Oh,
so
okay.
Yeah. So
it's not often someone can outdo me on the driving, but yeah, that sucks. Was that just because you had someone on the other side of the state that you were representing, or what?
We cover every county in the state. So
yeah,
sometimes we have stuff in the far corners of the state, and just gotta do it.
Gotta do what you're gonna do, I suppose. Damn.
Yep. Yeah. So it's been fun. So then I get home, it's like, well, I'm too tired to do anything. I think Monday night I actually did stream, and I had my 500-mile day the next day. So
oh, yeah, okay. That's.
I do plan to stream tonight. I'm probably just going to do games. I played the Oblivion remaster Thursday.
Oh, how's that planning out?
Looks awesome.
Good. Okay, that's
looks really good. So
I wasn't sure how that was going to plan out. I'm not quite sure why. I mean, obviously, the first reason why everyone was talking about it online was because apparently it just looks awesome when you spank the ass of that fire demon. But
it looks. Haven't gotten to that part yet, but
yet. That's all right.
But yeah, the graphics are amazing. I've been waiting on them to do this because they had Skyrim and they had the anniversary edition and did all that with Skyrim, but Oblivion I've been waiting on, and because that one was, I think, was better than Skyrim.
Well, yeah, I mean, and it's kind of like Skyrim and GTA 5. They just sort of flogged it across all different platforms, and yes, you can play it however you want to, but eventually it's sort of like it all blends together as irrespective of how many playthroughs you do.
Yeah.
And no, I can completely understand wanting to.
Now the mods for Skyrim, the modding of it made a big difference when they had a lot of stuff you could do. I don't know how much there is available for Oblivion yet, but I think it took 3 hours for someone to have some sort of like NSFW mod released.
That doesn't shock me.
And it's not much. It's like something on a sword. It was pretty simple, but it didn't take very long. 3 hours.
That's all right.
But yeah, Oblivion I think was better. And you had the voice acting. I mean, you had Patrick Stewart, Sean Bean. You got some big names doing the voice acting on it. So
okay. And presumably they got a hold of the original raw files for that. They would have had that sitting around in the archive somewhere.
From what I understand, the base, like the underlying, like the skeleton of it is pretty much the same. They just redone it in Unreal Engine 5 graphically. So it's the same, like the intro you when you meet the Emperor, which is Patrick Stewart's character. I mean, it's the same. I mean, it's his voice. Everything's the same. It just looks completely different.
Oh, so it's literally they've kept the original.
It's essentially
audio
the
tracks,
same
it's just
game. Yeah. They've
Oh,
just made it pretty.
See, when they do a true proper when they do it justice like that, that actually really makes me happy.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's the same thing. So I mean, people the other night were like, "Is this Patrick Stewart?" I'm like, "Yes, it is." I think Meme Copium didn't play Oblivion, and he was saying, "Is that Patrick Stewart?" It's like, "Yeah, you haven't played this?" No.
Oh, he's got it now.
Just a baby 20 years ago.
God, but see, and that makes me think of like back before LucasArts got rammed up the backside and that sort of thing. I mean, I loved the Jedi Knight series.
Yes.
And Jedi Academy, because it was,
I love that game.
It was so like adaptable, and you could mod it 8 ways from Sunday.
I want a remaster. I've been telling my wife that, and my brother say I want a remaster of Jedi Academy and Jedi Outcast.
Yeah, and because I think they released an updated version for the Switch, and I was like, "This is not the same thing. I want this on the PC. I want it done with better graphics." And just, I would lose days if they did that.
But it's Disney, so they're not going to do it.
Exactly. It's considered non-canon now. It's yeah. I'm still resisting. I never actually bothered watching of the sequel trilogy. I haven't seen like the second or third film, and I keep seeing bits and pieces of it, and I'm just like, no.
Yeah.
No.
I've watched them. I've watched all 3 of those, and they shouldn't exist. But after the first one was the best one of the 3, The Force Awakens, and then they completely changed. Everyone thought Finn's going to be the next Jedi.
Yep.
And that was the role that he should have
went.
And they completely screwed it up and went with Mary Sue and just ruined the sequel trilogy. Yeah, he definitely should have. They just made him some little side character, comic relief at times, and it's just not right. So
yeah, and then he's the one coming out after the fact saying, "Oh, we weren't ready for having, strong male black characters and all that."
Everyone
sort of
was. We were expecting it.
Exactly. It's like you
grabbed the lightsaber and you held the lightsaber. It takes some force use because the lightsaber, you use the force when you use the lightsaber. So,
and it would have actually made sense. Hang on, what's this? Florida woman called most manipulative person by a judge after conviction for killing $30 million lottery winner speaks out from behind bars, and she's still making excuses. Winning the lottery is everyone's dream come true, but for a Lakeland, Florida man, it spelled his demise. Abraham Shakespeare went from a day laborer who never finished school to a multimillionaire overnight when he won $30 million in 2006. But to be fair, see, this is what I've never understood. We don't have windfall gain tax here. So our lottery almost never gets that high.
Yeah.
But if it does, we see all of it. Like, out of 30 million, he would have seen what?
Florida doesn't have state income tax. So it would just be
okay.
the feds would get a cut of it. Now, I don't know if they have a lottery tax or not. I don't think. I think it should be, they don't have a state income tax. So.
Okay. Within 4 years, his body would be found buried under a concrete slab, probably right next to Chloe Albert. Ooh, too soon for that. And 2020 Unlucky Numbers, airing on ABC in April 18, takes a deep dive into the tragedy. Oh, so this is a puff piece for a TV show. Doris D.D. Moore, a bleach blonde business owner with a criminal record, was sentenced to life without parole for his murder. She befriended him with the offer of writing a book about his rags to riches story, and then killed him when she realized he'd already spent it all. On what, the second day? Like, it's not going to take you long to realize that he doesn't have the money in the bank. Okay. Moore, however, maintains her innocence to this day. When Shakespeare hit the jack. Oh, hang on. Is that seriously?
His name's
Abraham Shakespeare. I had to double check after watching that video earlier today. I was like, okay, is this the first name or the last name? When he hit the jackpot in 2006, he'd been working as an assistant truck driver for $8 an hour and happened to stop for a soda at a convenience store in Frostproof, Florida, on his way to make a delivery in Miami. He had $5 in his pocket and bought a two quick pick Florida lotto. 2 days later, he was holding a big check and posing for media cameras, talking about his dreams of starting a foundation to help the poor. Aww. He opted for a lump sum payout of $17 million instead of the $1.5 million a year for 2 decades, and bought himself $1 million home and a new car. But he was generous to a fault, freely handing out money to his friends and acquaintances, paid off people's mortgages, gave his stepfather a cool $1 million, made loans to acquaintances, and even paid burial expenses for strangers in his community. Dude, what?
That's, people don't know how to say no.
No.
That's the first thing you have to learn. That's the first word you need to learn as a lotto winner is the word no.
Absolutely. 17 mil. You put that in the bank at a half decent interest rate, and you live on the interest.
Mm-hmm.
Abraham Shakespeare was so generous with his money that he was known for paying for rent, groceries, funerals, and anything that anybody needed. Dude was balling and he was enjoying it.
Yep.
In November of 2009, he suddenly vanished. A cousin who hadn't seen him in months reported him missing after he called and asked for money, and the police launched an investigation. But with so many complicated financial dealings and people owing him money, investigators didn't know if he was dead or simply took off to lie low for a while. Oh my God. Imagine being that kind and giving away that much money that police don't know if someone you've given money to killed you or not. Like, or just not knowing.
I mean, the thing is, it's not like he was going to be like demanding it back.
No, exactly.
I doubt that he would have been doing that. So,
breaking the case came after detectives obtained his phone records and saw a drastic change in phone activity. After April 9, he had contact with just one person, Doris D.D. Moore, the owner of a nurse staffing company, who befriended him by giving him financial advice and offering to write a book about his life. Lesson learned, people. Random chick shows up and says, "Hey, I'll write a book about you."
Mm-hmm.
Unless it's Megan Fox, say no.
Exactly. Yeah, this is a nurse staffing company owner.
Yeah.
What do they know about writing a book?
Exactly. Though police were suspicious, Moore assured them that Shakespeare was alive and that they were in contact. In the meantime, she arranged an interview with local media to tamp down on the rumors that he was dead. Oh my God, she weekend at Bernie's, his poor ass. When Moore first entered Shakespeare's life, she quickly took control of his assets and claimed that she could get his finances under control by helping him collect from his debtors. At that point, he'd already spent $11 million of his prize money. In 3 years, he'd blown 11 mil.
Yeah.
Damn. He couldn't say no.
Well, and that's where he would have been better off taking the payout over time. The $1.5 million over time. Yep.
Catching Moore in her lies proved trickier than expected, but police concocted a plan involving an acquaintance of Moore's, someone who had done her bidding in the past, to agree to be a confidential informant. The informant told Moore he had a cousin headed to prison on a drug charge that would take the murder rap if she had done something to Shakespeare. Moore agreed to pay the cousin, an undercover officer, $50,000 and revealed key details of his death in case he was put on the stand. When they met to discuss the deal, Moore even gave him the gun and a map leading to his body. Oh, woman.
Wow.
For $50K? The reward for finding his body would have been more than that.
Yeah.
Why does it say Saturday Night Show? Because for me it is.
It's Saturday night. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, to be fair, it's like 1 a.m. Sunday morning.
Almost Sunday morning, yeah.
Yeah. Throughout the exchange, she maintained she was innocent and he was shot by drug dealers.
Is she the drug dealer?
Not long after Dee Dee meets with the man who she believes will take the rap for killing Abe Shakespeare, she's driving along this road with Greg Smith, heading to a property she owns on the outskirts of Lakeland.
They parked over at this house. We're just kind of on the side of the road with our lights off. She walks Greg right here. There was a 30-foot by 30-foot concrete slab.
Concrete slab in the middle of a field.
Yeah. She takes a piece of angle iron and sticks it in the corner of the slab and sticks it down in there and says, dig. Abraham's body's right there.
It's right here. It'll be 9 foot. It'll be 9 foot deep.
And you're listening to this. You guys must be just going nuts at this point.
I think once we heard that, we both look at each other and go, wow, let's just hope this isn't another Dee Dee spin or scam on things.
Thoughts? Holy cow, woman! And she was supposed to be the one smart enough to be dealing with his finances? It's almost like I'm disappointed that she didn't do better. In 2010, using the map provided by Moore, they found his body buried behind a Plant City home that Moore owned. He had been shot twice in the chest, and his grave was covered by a concrete slab. During the trial, her manipulation continued as she pointed the finger at 5 other people responsible for his murder, including her own son and a drug dealer named Ronald, according to the Tampa Bay Times. City Circuit Judge Emmett Lamar Battles called the most manipulative person he'd seen and described the murder as cold, calculated, and cruel during the sentencing. She was found guilty and given life without parole. Through the years, she's continued to file motions for post-conviction relief. Good freaking luck. Claiming she had ineffective counsel during her trial but remains incarcerated. In 2020, lucky numbers, Moore spoke out from behind bars. It was wrong, she said in the exclusive interview from prison. There was no reason for him to pass away over money, but for them to lie in public and say that they took his money. The whole situation was so stupid. No, sweetheart, what's stupid is you're even still trying to get away with that. I mean,
she might have gotten away with it. She left it to the body. She could have gotten away with this. I don't get it.
That's just stupid. God. Oh, that's what you want to read. New Army fitness test will no longer involve ball handling. I love some of these headlines.
Is that the male or the female test standards? Because they changed. They did change them. So.
Ooh, higher standards for combat arms. Okay. Mm-hmm. The Army is set to make sweeping changes to its fitness test according to an internal memo obtained by military.com. The overhaul includes a rebranding of the test, the elimination of the most criticized event, and the introduction of new performance standards for soldiers in combat roles. The test will no longer be the Army Combat Fitness Test and will simply be the Army Fitness Test. It's unclear why the service moved to take out the word combat. Yeah, hopefully that
make
means
sure
that
that everyone
everyone's...
has to do the same. Do it the same. I mean, it's just if you can pass the same standard as everybody else, then
Yeah. A gender-neutral standard for fitness has been the policy priority of Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, who has frequently disparaged women in the service, or classy, who serve in combat roles. I'm not sure I'm okay with how they've worded that. Hegseth has directed a review of the fitness standards across all services. We need to have the same standard, male or female, in our combat roles, he declared in the video. Yeah.
If you're in combat roles, everybody should be the same. So.
Soon we'll have nothing but the highest and equal standards for men and women in combat. The memo obtained by military.com leaves out cannon crew members, soldiers who operate howitzers, and are tasked with lifting and loading heavy artillery ammunition. It's unclear whether or not this is an oversight or a typo. Wait, what's this? Oh, classy.
Classy.
Florida man arrested after allegedly attacking 11-year-old girl. Tampa man was arrested after he allegedly attacked an 11-year-old he believed was throwing eggs at his apartment.
Jeez.
The sheriff's office said deputies went to Allison Park Place on Saturday, April 19, around noon for a report that a man was assaulting a kid. Jesus. Marius Moo 243 told deputies that for the past week, someone had been throwing eggs at his apartment. They said that when it happened again on Saturday, he saw the 11-year-old walking nearby and assumed it was her. You piece of shit.
Oh.
He chased the child.
He wouldn't be the one on trial. I can tell you that.
No, I was thinking the exact same thing. This is going to play or not?
Jeez.
Yeah, no, he's a dead man.
Yeah.
Get off of her!
Yeah, no, screw that.
Yeah, that guy, yeah. He would.
I don't care what the situation is, eggs or not, like.
Yeah, don't care.
Yeah, no. Bond was set at $6,000 and he was bonded out.
Shit.
What a piece of shit.
Mm.
Well, yeah, of course it's Florida because it's easy to find these stories when it's Florida.
Well,
it's laws.
Yep.
Wait, what? The USS Yorktown was sunk while being towed for repairs? Discovered to contain a car. Oh, I'm like, what? Isn't that like historical? Discovered to contain a car on the hangar deck. Oh, I saw that. There's like a vintage car that was that they found in the wreck.
Wow.
People are like, why is there a car on this boat? Oh, I don't know. Maybe it was important to somebody. Who knows? Who cares? Oh, I don't like this. After having sex in the Senate, he bought a one-way ticket to South Africa where he met a girl from New Zealand and moved to Australia where he hopes to open a pigeon something. I knew that this guy had to I knew this guy had to pop up somewhere. Senate staffer accused of having sex in the Capitol building recounts horrific backlash. Oh, you poor bastard! Yeah, I think it's entirely
backlash.
Yeah. Says he was diagnosed with PTSD. Oh my god!
What?
Smallest fucking violin. I swear to God. Spent time in a mental health institution after a video of him allegedly having sex in the Senate hearing room leaked. The US staffer was allegedly filmed having sex in the hearing room, speaking out on his own terms for the first time since the scandal broke. Dubbed the Senate twink. Oh, and of course he's moved to Sydney. Of course.
Yeah, well, he went to New Zealand and then to Australia.
So he could sneak into Australia. Classy. He was 24 when the video leaked in
Swam
December of
across the
23. Probably. Recently told gay Sydney News. He's really just trying to enjoy his life and work, and after the international attention caused him to have a total mental breakdown. I consider myself to be, again, entirely justified. It's alleged that I had sex in the United States Senate, and that's what I'm allegedly known for.
Well, you're not denying it.
I know he's not, is he? Mentally, I spent a little bit in a psych ward after the fact, just because it's overwhelming, you know? It's overwhelming to realize and know that tons of millions of people literally despise you. Or maybe don't get railed on the Senate floor. Really freaking easy. Oh, no.
Looks about what I would expect.
I should clarify, I'm in no way being rude or oh God, it's 1 a.m. My brain is not working. I'm not trying to be denigrating to
disparaging.
Thank you. I'm not putting to gay people, okay?
No.
This is purely that this guy did the wrong thing in the wrong place.
Yeah.
Same as what we were talking about earlier with the booing at the ANZAC Day ceremony, okay? I don't care about this guy's sexual preference. No. I care about the fact that I have unfortunately seen a photo of this guy's back while he gets railed in the middle of the Senate. I care. Known as the Senate Twinkie. Oh, okay, so that's just rereading all that. Okay. Video first released by far-right outlet Daily Caller showed the two men in a sex act on the Senate hearing room floor, a space typically reserved for legislative proceedings. Nice way to word it.
Yeah.
Maryland Democratic U.S. Senator Ben Cardin's office released a statement shortly after the leak that revealed that he was no longer employed by the U.S. Senate. He's just getting fucked like everyone else.
Yeah, exactly.
Capitol Police launched an investigation into the matter, which was closed after they found no evidence of a crime.
How is it no evidence of a crime to do that in the Senate chamber? Well,
probably there's no specific existing law.
Well, yeah, they always protect themselves or carve themselves out from.
Oh, of course, it'd be some sort of exemption for it. I mean,
it was just
imagine...
normal. If it was one of us engaging with our wives in one of those chambers, we'd be arrested and thrown in jail. But because it's them with each other,
it was the power bottom.
Yeah.
He said he became a catatonic mess when the video went public and that he was unable to find work because everyone in DC knew me. Okay, I'm concerned by that statement when you really think about it. I'm pretty sure he doesn't show his face in that video, so how the hell did everyone in DC know him? Like, is it possible that everyone in DC just recognizes his ass, or?
Lindsey Graham, especially with the ladybugs.
Oh, I wish I didn't know that piece of information.
Just my little ladybugs.
He said it felt gross and horrifying. Well, now you know how the rest of I'm not even American. I feel like it was gross that he was doing that.
Well, the next part's even better.
He instead brought a one-way ticket to Cape Town, South Africa, where he befriended and traveled with a woman from New Zealand. She suggested moving to Sydney, a city he immediately fell in love with. Oh, Christ. Oh, that's embarrassing.
Yes, so embarrassed he went straight. Straighten his life out.
On the straight and narrow. Love it.
Yes.
He said that he's since been diagnosed with PTSD and that he regularly sees a therapist and takes medication, but added, I don't have any shame in that because, okay, so it's not, he's saying he doesn't have any shame in the therapist and the medication.
No.
I had to stop and think about that then.
Yeah.
When you go through something like that, it's just overwhelming and difficult to even comprehend. I think that one of the reasons why the scandal wasn't as traumatic as it could have been is because I was very depressed working in government. Like, I hated my life. I hated my job. The pay was shit.
God, how do you survive on 38 grand a year in DC?
I have no idea. That might explain the sexual favors, really. I didn't feel like I lost anything career-wise on the scandal break.
Bad Dancer says he was recognized from the back of his head.
The Twink Underground Railroad. My dream in life is to open a pigeon sanctuary. I'm very into birds. I love pigeons, he continued. Well, he's definitely into birds now.
Yeah.
He said he now has a full-time job that pays better than his position in the government and is focused on staying offline and enjoying the outdoors. He understands why the video received so much attention, but still believes there was some prejudice at play. Well, I don't think that I was treated differently because it was gay sex. He said, I do think there was a difference between how people are judged if they are the submissive partner versus the dominant partner.
And he looks like the former, so... Yeah, well...
So he's basically blaming the fact that he has PTSD on being a power bottom.
Yeah, he's the catcher.
I think no matter what, when you have something as salacious as sex in the Senate, it's going to go viral regardless of whether or not it's gay or straight. That being said, I've noticed that when you have sex scandals, the passive partner tends to take more of the blame. I'm not going to make the joke.
See, it used to be, I remember 30 years ago that for, a congressman or senator, it was a death note if they found a dead girl or a live boy. That was the thing. Now you got video of them doing things in Senate chambers and nothing happens.
The passive partner doesn't take more of the blame. The catcher cops it more. Which is why I got all these death threats, hatred, and the guy who was the top didn't. Could also be because no one really recognized.
We don't know who we don't know who the other one was.
Exactly. I'm terrified that there are actual recommended stories for those sorts of things, but anyway.
And now your algorithm is completely trashed.
Oh, there's a reason that I open all these in a private tab. I don't want any history of that.
It's not gonna stop it.
I know. I still take efforts.
We're talking about it, and so it's gonna pick it up. You'll start getting YouTube.
Oh yeah, no, the YouTube algorithm. I'm screwed. I thought you meant my internet search history.
Well, that too.
Oh god. All right. I think I'll end it on this one, which I think is just a light note. I just think I like these kinds of stories.
It's Master Chef, not Master Bait.
1,005 visits of comfort. A therapy dog's incredible accomplishment remembered.
Oh. An Olympic therapy dog.
Wait. Why do Olympic athletes get dogs to help keep them calm?
They're under a lot of stress.
I know, but... All right, now I'm taking my dog to work.
I know. Jeff did.
Bro. Okay. Sally Marillet said she always jokes that once she and her therapy dog Fiona accomplished 1,000 visits, the team could retire. On February 11, the duo accomplished that goal, but 2 weeks later, on the 26th, Fiona unexpectedly passed away. Oh, I should have just watched the video and ended it.
Yeah.
The 11-year-old Great Pyrenees Golden Retriever mix developed sepsis in her stomach overnight. She had just completed 1,005 therapeutic visits.
Wow.
She'd been at school on Monday. She'd been at school at Tuesday and Wednesday morning. She woke up feeling not well, and I immediately called the vet. Within 8 hours, she was gone.
That's not the dog.
No, that's just a random. Check out the photos. The most popular dog breeds, according to the American Kennel Club.
Mm. But they need
French
therapy
Bulldog's
dogs.
number one? As if.
Really? Yeah, the lab.
Golden Retriever, you kind of expect.
Mm-hmm.
German Shepherd.
Yeah.
Poodle. What?
Poodle. Yeah. Dachshund. Yeah, they're popular. Beagles.
Beagle. Roddy.
Yeah.
They're pretty cool. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
I totally told my wife. So, because they keep, her and Scarlett keep going on about how the next dog we get is going to be a Dachshund. And I said, that's fine. You can get that as much as you want. I'm getting an American Bulldog, and you know damn well what I'm calling it.
Yep.
So, Shorted Pointer. Yorkshire Terrier, yappy little shit.
God.
Oh, look, an Australian Shepherd.
Yeah.
Aww. King Charles Cavies. Cane Corso.
Cane Corso, heck yeah. These things are awesome.
Oh, come on.
Welsh Corgi.
Come on, chat. Are they really going to like a Corgi's a big thing in America? Come on.
I never see them, but
oh, beautiful boxer. And Schnauzer. Mountain Dog. Let's see.
See,
I refuse
see
to.
a lot of shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I refuse to believe that. Great Dane. Pomeranian.
Wow. My wife wants to get a Shiba Inu. She wants to get. She wants a Doge.
Doge. Oh, she's just beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so the original video had absolutely nothing to do with the actual story.
The original video was one of those therapy dogs, but it wasn't this dog.
Yep. Okay, that makes more sense because that's. Oh, poor thing. I'm just looking at the photos because I don't want to read the sad story, people.
Yeah, yeah.
But no, because I've been meaning to, because I'm pretty sure she's the same breed. Yeah, Great Pyrenees. That where I did my law degree down on the southwest coast of Victoria, there's a town called Warrnambool, and just off the coast there, they've got an island that's the natural habitat for fairy penguins.
Okay.
What was happening was that at low tide, it was creating a land bridge between the mainland and this island, and dingoes were actually sneaking onto the island, killing the penguins.
Okay.
So what they did was, in order to protect the penguin population, they trained they trained 2 of these dogs, and they left them on the island as like protectors.
Yeah.
And there's they turned it into a movie, Oddball. I've been meaning to sit and watch it in Discord because it's a really good it's a really lovely story. Like, I actually got to meet because the original Oddball, I'm pretty sure, passed away, and they've replaced it with the next generation.
Yeah.
But I know I met at least 1 or 2 of the dogs, and they were just like some of the most lovable, adorable things. They're just
that's a great idea.
Oh yeah, no, it was brilliant. And it was just a random idea that someone came up with at the time. They're like, "Oh, what if we train a dog to look after them?"
Yeah.
And so they just found they basically went to the local farmers and said, "Okay, what are the best breeds for sheepdogs that don't attack birds?" And they just sort of, okay, well, we'll give this a go. So they've had the generations of these dogs on that island now for like the last 20 years or something. So
that's great.
But yeah. Anyway, all right, guys, I'm gonna head to bed. It's now 1 a.m.
Yes, you need to get some sleep.
So, MG, thank you so much for dropping
Oh,
by.
that's great. My son's just in there. He's playing playing Mario Brothers on the living room TV. So he's like, "Can I play Nintendo?" I was like, "Yes, go play."
Fair enough then. But anyway, people, as always, please remember you're not a piece of shit. You have value and do contribute to society, especially for being here. And thank you to everyone that's hit the like button and double checked whether or not you subscribed. And I'll catch you all shortly. Cheers, peeps.
And again, on your way out, please do me the favor of hit the like and subscribe button if you're so inclined. It costs nothing. It's absolutely free. And we'll be friends forever. Bye now.
This shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out. No thanks. Don't mind me. I'ma just grab my stuff and leave. Excuse me, please. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Nope. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Alright then. I don't know what the fuck just happened, but I don't really care. I'ma get the fuck.